the biggest challenge I faced was I was at a very pivotal time in my journey with the Groundlings, which is an improvisational and sketch comedy troupe based in Los Angeles. I was in the Sunday Company, and Sunday Company is a precursor to the main company, but the higher you get in the Sunday Company, the more stressful it becomes. And it just so happened that this was being shot at the same time. I was a couple weeks prior to the end of my time in the Sunday Company of the Groundlings. So finding the balance between those two things was very challenging.
And did you become a groundling?
I did.
He's a groundling. He's a groundling, everybody.
The locations were very noisy. A lot of outside, a lot of parking lots, a lot of noise in downtown LA.
How did you get around the noise?
We put a dead cat on the microphone, and that made it less noisy. A dead cat looks like Doc from Back to the Future's wig. Looks like his head.
I know exactly what the biggest challenge of this role was. I felt like Kira is someone who would never go on stage without false eyelashes. So I put on false eyelashes, and I'm really, really bad at putting on false eyelashes. So that was the hardest part. I didn't hurt myself, but I definitely had sticky eyelids.
Putting together a cast and especially a crew. Luckily, running the downtown rep, I know a lot of really talented actors. No shortage there. I mean, everybody in the film is just exquisite. But finding a crew, especially from a theater background, totally different than a film crew. You know, it's different skill set. So I was lucky enough to be working at a company at the time that was a film studio with 5 cameras, and they interviewed people, and I worked as the stage manager. All the other guys and gals who came onto our film set were running camera ops, and through working together, I just got really lucky, and I met Joey, extremely talented, gaffed on Empty Space, Stephanie, who was the first AC, who's extraordinary and just so much fun to have on set. Finding Idan, the director of photography, was a godsend. He's extremely talented, wonderful to work with. I luckily already knew the sound guy, Kevin DeKimp. We worked together on I Snatched Andy Warhol, my first film, for which he did the music and the sound editing. So along with Matt Glenn.
One of the most difficult parts about taking on this role for me is that I've been working in classical theater, like I said, for the better part of a decade. So I come from this very intense and larger portrayal of a character. For me, one of the hardest things about doing Jack was like learning to dial it back enough so that it didn't like blow up the screen. Also, not hitting Devin. One of the hardest things was just during the fight call, like not actually maiming my friend Devin with a bat. I just didn't want to hurt him. And then of course, another hard part about doing this role was at the time I worked in accounting, and trying to explain to accountants why I need to take 2 days off to hang out in a parking garage in downtown Los Angeles is interesting.
Watch Empty Space.
Watch Empty Space.
Watch Empty Space.
Watch Empty Space.
Watch Empty Space.